Hey everyone, this is Alex Gray, coming at you with another black and white review with Gray. That's me. I've got a flashlight review for you. It's the Fenix TK30 White Laser Flashlight. You do not want to miss this. But first I want to say, this is a new channel that I'm uploading this to. My first big goal is I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you would like flashlight reviews, if you like how I do things, if you like my black and white analysis of the products, please give me a subscription. That would really help me out and we can continue to put out more videos for you guys. But let's get right into this. This flashlight is what you guys are all here for, I'm sure. This is the TK30 White Laser Flashlight. Now, if you're wondering what a white laser flashlight is, don't worry, you're not the only ones. We're going to go in depth and describe what's different about a white laser versus an LED flashlight, which is what we are probably used to seeing. We're going to answer a few questions about this laser flashlight, such as how's it work, what's it look like at night, how's it compare to LED flashlights, and most importantly, should I buy one? So you're going to want to stick around to see all of my analysis here. Now first we want to break down that white laser title. First of all, this is a laser flashlight. It is not looking like a laser. It actually has a laser diode in it. However, the laser diode is not white, as you might suspect. It is actually blue. That blue laser is bouncing off of a phosphor, or it's reflecting off of a phosphor, and that emitting light is turned white. And that's why we call it a white laser flashlight. Now, for all intents and purposes, this does look like a very thick white laser because it just cuts through the night. So it's a misnomer to call it a white laser, but just barely. On the back of the light, you have a great tactile feedback power button. This turns it on and off with a momentary button that doesn't require a full click to engage. On the side of the light, you'll see this nice brass button, which is the mode selector button. When you turn the light on, it will show you a quick status check on your battery level. Pressing this button cycles between the two modes, low and high. Low being 100 lumens and high being 500 lumens. If you hold the button for half a second, it'll enter strobe mode. When you look down this flashlight's barrel, you'll see a few things. Number one, a very obvious lens. Number two, an obstruction in the middle of that lens. And number three, a very yellow base. The obstruction in the middle seems like a big issue. Wouldn't that ruin the beam? And the answer is no, it's not a problem at all. This obstruction is really not a problem at all. It seems a little weird, but I promise you in real world applications, you wouldn't even know it's there. For any of you guys who love lasers, this is a class 3B laser. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. But if you do know lasers, you can realize why this has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in it. In my test today, I'm going to be comparing this flashlight against two different kinds of flashlights. One is a TK35 that's designed for a long throw application. It's about 1,300 lumens. It's the 2018 revision. And the second flashlight that I'm going to test is a cheap, what we might call a zoomy flashlight because it has a zoomable lens on the front. This one actually cost me $15 at Tractor Supply Co. and it's rated 1,500 lumens. The first test we're going to do is a lumen tube test. However, my findings are not as much scientific as they are just a comparative result between the different kinds of light. This light meter is going to help me demonstrate the difference between a full lumen rating and how much candela a light has. The candela being how far does that light reach. Here I have this zoomable flashlight. I'm going to extend it all the way so that it has a very spotty light. We're going to take this, we're going to put it all the way up to the highest range, times 100. I'm going to put the sensor right underneath it. You can see that's going 1,500, 1,300, 1,400. Those are lux, by the way, not lumens. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the TK30. We're going to put this about the same height right above that sensor. Peaked. That peak means that it has actually exceeded the range of the meter. Not against the sensor itself, but through the lumen tube. I've covered this up with a plastic bag just to prevent light spill. We're going to turn on the 1500 lumen flashlight, and you'll see we're getting 240 of just about. And this is lux, remember. Now I've got the TK30 lined up in the same spot. We're going to put this on here, turn this on. 150. 150 lux, just about. Now for one final test, we're going to do my 1600 lumen LD30. 370. So to explain our lumen tube experiment there, our 1500 lumen flashlight had about 100 to 150 lux less than our 1600 lumen Fenix light. This is not because the lumen to lux ratio is very, very high. This is because they do not register that 1500 lumens correctly like Fenix does in their testing standards. Now, with that said, it's still a fairly bright flashlight, and you realize that in the lumen tube test, it still came out about 100 lux higher than the 500 lumen laser flashlight. So we do know that this is a brighter light. But when I shone them directly onto the sensor itself without the lumen tube, the laser flashlight peaked the measurement, whereas the 1500 lumen from JobSmart did not. So what gives? This is because the lumen tube helps us demonstrate the difference between the candela and the lumens. The candela has to do with the intensity of the light, or how focused it is, and the distance that it can reach. The lumens are the actual light output. So in the lumen tube, we can see that the JobSmart flashlight is the brighter flashlight when it comes to sheer lumen output. But when we're talking about distance and candela, the TK30 laser has it beat hands down. My second test is going to be outdoors in my backyard and my front yard, which are about 75 feet from the tree line and about 500 feet from the tree line, respectively. Here's the TK35 at 1300 lumens. Here's a zoomable flashlight, zoomed in at 1500 lumens. And here is the TK30 laser flashlight at 500 lumens. Let me zoom in to 2x on my camera here, and let's get those close-ups. Here's the TK35 again. The zoomable flashlight. And the TK30. Here's the TK35. Again, 1300 lumens. Here's a zoomable flashlight. And here is the laser flashlight. My third test is going to be down by the riverfront near where I live. You'll have to excuse the fact that there's some light pollution in the shot, as it was the best filming location I had available to me. Long distance locations are hard to come by where I live, so I'm using the river to help me achieve a long beam distance. I'm using the back of this large hotel as a target for my flashlight beam, and shining at it from across the river in this little park. The total distance is just over 2,000 feet, much further than you would normally use any normal flashlight. I will have the video of me shooting the flashlights overlaid onto the video of the hotel that I am lighting up. This will show us how much illumination you can expect from 2,000 feet away. Even though the JobSmart flashlight boasts 1,500 lumens and can zoom the lens in, it is not visible on the hotel at all. Neither the camera nor my cameraman was able to see anything from this flashlight. Moving on to the TK35, this light was able to be seen on the hotel, though it was dim. The deep reflector cone on this flashlight allows that 1,300 lumens to be thrown much further than most flashlights can reach, and it is illuminating the building. But finally, the TK30 white laser flashlight shows up. This light is very visible on the hotel, and it easily outperforms the TK35. Even at only 500 lumens, this is easily 3 times brighter. The distance you can achieve with this light, considering its compact size, is nothing short of incredible, and I hope this video shows that. You can see that I am turning the light on and off and moving it around to differentiate the flashlight from the ambient light in the shot. Here I had my cameraman look back to the shoreline that I was standing on for a first-person view of the beam. And for my last shot over the water, you can see me finding the opposite shore with the TK30. This is reaching out everywhere from 1,000 feet to 3,000 feet approximately. All throughout Fenix's marketing promotional material, I've seen this light strapped onto a weapon. And you might be asking yourself, what good is it on a weapon if it doesn't really show up in front of you that much? If you didn't have a light that was as pinpoint as this, you'd be illuminating much of the ground in front of you and not so much the target that you're trying to see. Another test I have of this was I set up inside my garage and I went about 5 to 10 feet back from the door frame. If I was in a situation where I was trying to light up something outside of the house but still stay in cover, you can see that I would be blinding myself inside the house with a flashlight like my LD30. However, with the TK30, you can shine out the door frame, illuminate the target outside, and you have almost zero spill inside the house. This means that you can illuminate a target from behind cover without giving away a position and or blinding yourself and ruining night vision within a dark building. Now, is this a situation you're really going to find yourself in the wild? Probably not. But if you're a prepper or if you're in a law enforcement situation where you will actually encounter this, this is something that cannot be overstated as a huge benefit to the pinpoint accuracy of this flashlight. I set up targets in a field at 200 feet and at 380 feet. I wanted to see if the light could handle the strong jolts it would receive while being mounted on a rifle. The TK30 was no worse for the wear after the shots, and it held up just fine. And it's also pretty neat to see the beam of light cutting through the gunpowder smoke. One thing I want to talk about is the cost. Now at this time, this light retails for $269, and that seems like a lot when you think about a 500 lumen flashlight. When I tell people that price, usually they say, why is it so expensive? And I think it's a fair question that I want to answer here for you. The first thing that's making this so expensive is the technology. Like I mentioned earlier, LEP technology is still very new, and you're paying a little bit of a first adopter tax for the sake of the research and development, the special detailing that goes into fine-tuning a laser flashlight. Some of that is simply a cost of the sake of it being a brand new technology. The second part of this is the laser diode itself, as well as the very intricate optics that are in the front of this light. These are not cheap pieces and much more expensive than an LED chip normally would be. I think as time goes on, just like LEDs have, LEP prices will go down and it'll become more reasonable. But right now, it's a little bit more of a, like I said, a first adopters tax where people are buying and paying for the research and development cost a little bit more than some other lights. I asked a few of my friends if they had questions about this light, and I got a few silly questions I want to answer here. First of all, yes, it can be used as a lightsaber. The impact doesn't show up as well on video as it does in person, but believe me, all of your friends will be very impressed if you whip this out at night. And another silly question, but proving the point that this is a laser flashlight, yes, cats do chase it. So let's answer one very simple question. Should you buy the TK30? Maybe. I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek because I do think it's worth the money. At this stage in the LEP market and how much of a finished product this is from Fenix, I like it a lot. However, $270 can get you a lot of other really good flashlights that can somewhat compare to this. It's really best for a long throw application, and honestly, most people day to day are using their flashlights right in front of them or possibly down the driveway. Now, if you're in search and rescue, or you live on a lake and you want to see the far shore, or you really need a long throw flashlight because you live in an open environment, yeah, I think this actually could be a really good choice to add to your collection of flashlights. But this should not be your first flashlight. It should not be your only flashlight. It should be a supplemental light to your EDC or everyday carry, or maybe a headlamp. But this is a really good light. I don't want to say you shouldn't buy it because it's very good. But for the price that it is and the benefit that you get, make sure it's not your only light. The Fenix TK30 is an engineering marvel, and I can't wait to see where the LEP market goes after this. If you do want to buy this light or any other light that I've talked about or shown, you can go to phoenixlighting.com. That's where I get my lights from. They have similar prices to Amazon, so you're not going to get beat there. Shipping is great, and they're great customer service to work with. I also have a flashlight review website, alexgray.info. I post a lot of my blogs and my written forms there. If you want to browse through some of the previous reviews I've had, you can click over there. Once again, please like, comment, or share this video. And if you're on the YouTube platform watching this, please subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I'm trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm just starting out. I hope that this content has earned your subscription. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews in the future, give me a big thumbs up on the video. So again, this is Alex Gray with another black and white review on a great flashlight.